G'day, guys. We're going to keep going. This has been great. Canada meets Australia. We're not going to say the Oilers meet the Flame or the Blaze or whatever they're called, but I thought
Flames.
there you go. Hey, all I remember from Calgary is Bret Hart's bar, hanging out there on my 50th birthday, meeting the great man 2 days after, and the Stampede was, well, it was Stampede. What can I say?
Epic.
So basically, we were talking a bit about the similarities, and you talked about Pierre being mini Trump, and then, funny enough, Dutton was made mini Trump, and suddenly he went down. It's so similar, isn't it? It's scary. And then we goes, "Where's the facts?" I go, "Well, do you really want facts? You want to sit there and you want to go and find something out because you might be able to because they'll hide it,
Yeah.
or they're going to label you as conspiracy theorists because they're not going to tell you that they did it." Um, so what else is happening over there? And then I'll probably butt in and say what's happening over here. Have you got? Okay, can I ask you? I might as well ask you. Have you got superannuation?
You know what? I saw you make a post about that. What is that about?
So basically, what happens is Paul Keating back in the 80s. I think it was the 80s, 90s, and I think it was something like that. They decided to say, look, take out 10% of your income, put it into a fund to make you money, so you can retire. When you retire, you can take that money out and you can live off it. Okay,
Mhm.
great. So many great ideas, ladies and gentlemen, until you get people with muddy fingers. So basically, what's happening is with superannuation is because they're trying to keep control of everything, and I'll talk about the relevance of the Houston hurricane in a minute. Um, they go, oh, you're going to make money. They invest your money for you. Hey, mate, they know better than us. No problem. Not. We've got a big shout out for Tim, Sam, and Bishop from Beat the Reset. Love you, boys. If you want some information, that's the boys to go and see. I tell you, they're from Australia. They do worldwide things. So anyway, so basically what they do is they invest, you take it out when you're 67 or 65 or whatever it was, right? But it's coming to people's ideas now that they are investing the money overseas. And all I say is this: these big insurance companies are sponsoring big sporting events. Now, these, I don't know whether they're paying for it or not, I don't know. Big sporting events, big ticketed events, and I'm wondering where the money's coming from. And all I'll say is we put our money into their business for us to make the money, which they're doing, no doubt. They give us our pick, no problem. Where's the rest of it? Where are they making their money from, and how much are they making? So that's basically what happens with superannuation. Now, we've gone into what we call self-managed, which is basically you take your money and you manage it. There's rules, no problem. I don't have a problem with that. I'm saving for my future, but I want to
Mhm.
invest it where I want to invest it. Gold, silver, Bitcoin. Anyway, so there we go. Gold, silver, platinum, Bitcoin. There we go. No, well, they tell you can't. And mate, we'll go into that later. Okay, we'll go into. Actually, you know what? I'm going to ask you right now. Sorry, I get when I fire up about this because we've all done it. Now, can I ask you, if you go to the bank, do you get asked where you're gonna if you're taking $500 or more out, are you getting asked what you do with your money?
Not $500. I think they're asking now, if you're, I think, 3,000
Okay, I won't claim five. I think some
in
banks are five.
cash.
Yeah, they
But
want that way.
legally it's 10,000. They actually, as a matter of fact, you can't even walk into a bank and ask for $10,000 cash right there and say, I have $20,000 in my account. I need $10,000 cash right now because I'm going to buy a car, and this guy is insisting on cash and he won't let me pay with e-transfer or any other way. I need my money right now. And they will say, no, we
No,
don't
because you
even
could.
have cash to give you.
Correct.
And they have to report it.
Which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. That's $10,000. But what's happening here is I can tell you right now, I have people who have messaged me, have told me. I know a lady that was on TikTok. I have to remember her name. I do apologize but there's a couple of people I know that have had their bank accounts frozen, or they just basically can't get their money out, especially talking about the older generation. and they're using the excuse you should know better. Yeah, no worries. They didn't grow up in this world, in this society as such. We're used to it. But is it happening? Is that the trend happening in Canada as well? Have you heard anything like that?
Well, when it comes to cash and how much cash you can take out and everything, these limitations that the government is putting in, they're saying that it has to do with to prevent money laundering.
And that's fine.
But that's just an excuse, right, Jay? Like that's just an excuse to limit people and their freedoms and abilities. And we see that happen all the time, all around the world when it comes to a safety issue, right? Like, God forbid, I mean, back what happened with 9/11. Like how many civil liberties essentially did Americans agree to give up to avoid another 9/11 from happening? But under the surface, do you realize what you gave up? Did you realize in the fine print? Did you see what that actually meant? Did you interpret that the right way when you voted for it? And 9 times out of 10, that answer is no, simply because thinking for yourself takes work and it takes effort and it requires you to spend time doing it. But that's
Critical
what
thinking.
governments appreciate. Governments are very happy to say, you know what? You just don't even worry about thinking for yourself. You elect us to think for you. We'll do the best we can.
Absolutely. Look, I just think, look, I'm just looking at people, and this is why I'm asking. This is a comparison because I know people have, and I've seen people have been restricted from taking money. And look, and I say this, everyone, you got to be careful about how much money you take. I mean, I had to go and take out X amount of dollars, had to make an appointment, but it was a big amount, and that's fine. I don't have a problem. Good on you for looking after. But when you're getting questioned over a couple of $100, a couple of $1,000, if that, is some what don't you have it or why are you asking me what I can do with money? The best one was here's one for you. The Commonwealth Bank, and this is a fact. We're going to charge $3 if you went and took cash out at the bank teller. So they're going to charge you $3 to go and get your money out. It's like tally bank fees, like auto bank fees. That's
Mm-hmm.
what they got abolished. All right, they got abolished, but except if you've got a private credit, if you've got a private machine, that's a different story. Then you pay.
Yeah.
But those big the big banks, they've taken all the fees off. Now I'm not sure when that happened and what the law was, but I think they did deem it unfair. As I don't have the facts on me, but I know they took it off, and all the big you can go to any bank teller now, which you can't find too many tellers, too many auto tellers, and that's another thing. Oh, the reducing amount of auto tellers. And I goes,
Mm-hmm.
have you got facts for this? Mate, if I had facts for everything, I wouldn't be able to live my life. All I'm saying to you is, I know it was easier to get money out, personally, my friends. And it was easier to find an auto teller than what it is now. What do you reckon?
Well, and that's exactly it. I mean, you're talking about your own experiences, right? And here, the banks, like if I was with TD Bank here, and I go to their machine to take money out, it doesn't cost me. But if I go to, like a private one, like you said, then it will cost me. Um, but I think predominantly what banks have done to avoid some of that stuff or fees is wrapped it into your monthly banking service. Um, and saying, well, if your checking account costs $16.95 as a monthly fee, but you get ability to do all of these things. And only when you go over these things are you charged any extra fees, that it's still the bank charging you to get your own money. Whether it's a
Well,
monthly fee, a transaction fee, a blah, blah, blah fee,
a breathing
it's the
fee.
banks making money. That's
It's
what banks do.
a breathing V. Anyway, can't have. I have to say I can't. I can't. I just got to keep them. But okay, here's another one for you. Now this is a comparison between Australia and Canada in this part, ladies and gentlemen.
Mhm.
So I always and everyone can say what they want. They can go and make excuses for all they want. All I'm asking you is why at certain peak times of the day or peak hours, why does the cost of oil go up? Petrol. Like you might go, you have to wait to Wednesday to get it cheaper. But they subsidize it to a point of now it's nearly $2 a litre here. It used to be $1. Now they took the government levy off and that bumped it up. Good old Labor government. They just took it off. So it went up like 30, 40 cents. But if they're paying 65 cents, $65 a barrel,
Mhm.
how much are they really making? And I'd like to do a comparison of how much oil costs now compared to even, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I'd say. That's when it was about $1.10 or something like that.
Well, I mean, there's always been a massive amount of federal taxes on oil and gas products here in Canada. And then the carbon tax came in. And then when carbon tax Carney was selected basically as the Liberal leader, he signed a document to take the carbon tax down to zero um, for consumers. But that actually, so that meant like for the consumer, the cost was going to go down to zero, but for industry, it was going to stay up. And eventually, of course, what does industry do? Industry is not going to take less profit for anything, for anyone, anywhere. So they are going to pass that on to the consumer, no matter how they have to do it. And here in Alberta, our provincial government, when they make their budget, they budget it off of an idea of how much oil is going to sell for, right? So if we are hoping that the average barrel of oil sells for $70 a barrel at its lowest price, then we can balance our budget that way. But if it goes below, then we kind of have to look at our adjustments. And right now, I'm trying to remember what a barrel is right now. Today, I don't even know. To be honest with you, I'd have to check. But we're at a $1.35 ish a liter, and I think we're at like maybe $65 a barrel, $70 a barrel. But the last time we were at $70 a barrel, we played like 90 cents a liter,
So
right?
that's the comparison we need to do. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, if you're paying that, and depending where it's coming from and all the other yada doodah day, you have to pay your high five tax, your breathing tax, whatever it may be. We're paying like it's up to $1.99 now. It's gone up 30 cents since the midweek. So anyone who says the cycling in different towns, like we're paying 60 cents more than you guys are, but it's look at the end of the day, it's daylight robbery and everyone knows it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can drive down one of the streets here that I drive down practically every day. Uh, and there's two gas stations that are right beside each other. One is a Shell and one is a Petro Canada, and they could be 10 cents off of each other, and they're right next to each other.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Look, as I said to you, I think this is what we're being. This is what I mean by being aware and going, where are all the facts, all these facts? Look, all we're doing is noticing what the hell and why. And this is where your question comes in. Why are you doing that? And you'll get someone spill out some sort of explanation. Then you get the minions go, oh yes, we'll be right. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. Seriously, mate. Seriously, do you see what's going on? Do you make the assumption, and you can talk about the Trump effect and all those kind of things, and we don't know what's all going on. Everyone hates him because he's misogynist and he's done this, he's done that. Okay, that's absolutely well and good. All right, but I look at it this way: are we going to be better off under him than what? Oh, not even under him. Is he making changes that we want to see in other countries? That's how I look at it. And I say, will not even him? Everyone goes, oh, it's him. I go, what if someone came in and said, look, for Australia, right, we sell our gas overseas for bugger all and all our natural resources for bugger all. Okay. We've got this government here going to tax people with what they call that superannuation, which is a retirement fund. Anyone
Mm-hmm.
over $3 million, they're going to tax people on unrealized capital gains on it. So if they think you're going to make money, you have to pay for it before you make the money.
Okay. So we have something called the Canada Pension Plan, which you pay into. It comes right off your paycheck, just like an income tax does.
That's pretty much what the super is. That's similar. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
very similar. Yep.
So what they're doing now, though, with that is the government has been, saying they're investing it in great places to grow the fund. The fund is not growing. As a matter of fact, in, I don't know, 10, 15 years, I think it's just going to be completely bankrupt. And there's a couple of reasons for that because not only is the government managing it badly, because you know what, you guys, governments don't manage money well because there's no accountability for it. It's not their money. It's a tax dollar. It's, well, if we blow your money, we're just going to tax you more. And we, the sheep, are not in power to change those things or make affect those things or hold anybody accountable to anything, unfortunately. But what they're doing here is they want to tax the equity that people have in their homes before they sell it. So
Oh,
boomers,
same
yeah,
thing. That's exactly the same thing.
yeah,
So you're going to go, all right. So we'll tax you. Will Here's your house before. So what they're doing is, if I'm correct, if you go to sell, do they have to be selling it before
no,
they?
no. So it's a kind of same thing. You know, if they did an assessment on your home and you have $1 million worth of equity in your home, right? Maybe it's paid off. Like a lot of these boomers were able to do that because their money was still good back then, you know, and things were a proper cost. But they can say, no, you have, if you were to sell it right now and you could get $1 million for it, then you're getting taxed for $1 million.
See, that's the same thing as what's happening here with the superannuation. It's exactly the
Mm-hmm.
same. So they're basically taking money for something that hasn't happened yet. So someone's paid off their house and you go, oh, it's gone up in value. You have to pay the tax on that value. Is that what's happened? Is that right?
Yes.
There you go. Same
It
thing.
has not. It has not passed yet, but it is
Oh,
something that the government has
oh, here
offered
we.
up.
Oh my God. So this is happening in Canada. We've got the
Yeah.
superannuation. See the Can you see is there? If anyone goes to me, there's no comparison here, and you want to go and do your research and just go, and then people will try to knock it down with some sort of stupid facts. At the end of the day, all we're looking at is, hang on, that's unfair. That's unfair. That's where we're at. That's all it is. And then they go and tax you more and more and more and more. Well, people are either sheep minions that don't have any idea or just want to be right.
I'd like to take this time to shout out our supporters at Liberty Bullion, the best gold, silver, and platinum traders in Melbourne, even Australia. If you want to give them a call, their knowledge, their customer service is second to none. Back to the show.
I think it's probably a mix of those both,
Yeah.
because it and I don't know why this is, and I don't even like to generalize all the time like this, but it seems to me like liberal thinking people will just follow their candidate to the gates of hell, in a sense, whereas conservative people will say, no, 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 that's not what you said you were going to do. We're not happy with that. Like even with what's going on with Trump and some of the things in the United States, there's some people who were like MAGA and conservative voters who are opposed to the big beautiful bill because it is still taking money from poor people and giving money to billionaires, and that's not what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to do the exact opposite, right? So I think that when it comes to politics, at some point or another, everybody has a bit of buyer's remorse for who they voted for. I just think that if you want to not admit it out loud, you know what I mean? Or because then you have to admit, "Ah, maybe I shouldn't have voted for that guy, or maybe I trusted that and I shouldn't have, or maybe I should have looked a little bit deeper, or you know what I mean, blah blah blah." And the other thing that I think people have to mix up quite often is that fair doesn't necessarily mean equal. Okay,
Yes.
like it's not fair
Yes.
to take somebody's home equity and give it to somebody who doesn't have any home equity, or you know what I mean, or
Well, they're not
give
going to
it to
give it. They're,
somebody who,
they're, they're not going to
right,
do
like
that.
they're not going to give it to, no, certainly not. Like it would never end up in the right hands anyway. This is just another way, another trick, another guise, another agenda on how can we take more and more money from our citizens and keep it for ourselves and hide it elsewhere in tax havens and hire all our friends and waste, and because nobody's ever held accountable.
So
And
what's
that's
it?
like, a lot of my TikToks and stuff are about accountability, because that's a that's just the way things work. That's the way people learn. If you are never held accountable for your actions, you never change. I did this whole little video. If you want to go watch it, I don't know if you did it or not. I was a speed demon. Drove everywhere like a bat out of hell. Was getting speeding tickets over and over and over and over again. My dad comes up to me. He's like, "Who are you, Angela Andretti?"
Yeah.
But I was like, "Dad, I can't afford that ticket. Dad, I can't pay for this ticket." And then, so he would pay them for me. And then he was like, "Okay, I'm not paying your tickets anymore, and your insurance is through the roof. You're paying for this. Go get your insurance." When do you think I started to slow down?
When you talk about accountability and responsibility, it said this is one of the martyrs of the Robin Hood effect. It's friggin' accountability. And look, I think authenticity is a big thing, and then accountability. But also, authenticity means you have to stick to your guns and what you're doing. You might, you don't have to be right. You just have to be aware of what's happening and be respectful to talk about these things. This is intriguing because the Trump thing we've got 2 points already. Number one, when Pierre got compared to Trump, that means that there's a guy on TikTok who does the Canadian politic report. I can't remember his name. Got to get his name. I'll have a look him up. He's the one who called out the Trump thing. He had it, and he actually put the facts on there. And then you've got the unrealized capital gains on houses in Canada versus the unrealized capital gains in Australia in superannuation. Now, everyone goes, "Oh, it's super versus houses." Yeah, no worries, mate. At the end of the day, you're taking money. Let's just cut the bullshit and strip it back to the absolute point. People have earned and worked hard to get into a position where they can enjoy life after retirement or in retirement, and they're not allowed to because they have to go and pull out some more money. Come on, wake up.
Yeah, I think retirement for Canadians, I mean, I want to speak for Aussies, but for
It's the
Canadians
same
of this
thing.
generation, I think that's a that's just a long lost idea these
It's
days. I don't know that anybody will ever be able to achieve it.
well, if you got
Not with not with any kind of a standard of living. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to maintain a certain standard of living during your retirement, remember how I said like my dad moved us from Ontario to Alberta because the house prices were going up faster than he could save?
yeah.
That's what's going to happen with your retirement. Is you're going to, be saving as much money as you possibly can while you work, but it's never going to add up by the time you want to retire. They move too quickly against each other.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. We talk about
Sadly. I mean, sadly, but
we talk about this while we talk about precious metals. We talk about gold that went up 35% last year, right? You got silver that's gone up something like 32%. Platinum's gone up like 35%. I'm just going on what I bought it for and what I see now. And I know depending on what you believe in Bitcoin and crypto, if you want to get into that, there's another one. But again, they're going up. Now, some people think it's a scam. That's fine. But you know what I mean? What you have to do is like anything, have discern judgment on what you do and how you build. And the key word I want to ask you, do Canadians build wealth or do they are they in a mechanism of surviving?
they're surviving now. I think I don't remember what the percentage is right now, but the majority of Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
and
Well, this is what they want.
not much wiggle room. Very little savings or very little ability to invest anything.
Yep.
I mean, because in a lot of cases, there's a lot of Canadians who are working full-time jobs who are living in a tent now.
Oh, you've got that too. We've got it up
because
in Queensland, and then
we can't. They can't afford a house.
Well, what happened to public housing by the government?
It's filled with immigrants.
Well, I'll go even one better than that. And we talk about immigration, right? And we've had a mass influx of immigration, right? I don't have a problem with it. Just again, you don't put if you can't subsidize everything that comes through and make a steady increase. Why are you putting? If you're right for about 100,000 people, why are you bringing 800,000 in? That's the whole point. Steady increase. That's all it is. There's no problem. People can do what they want. But this is mismanagement, and we know, well, I have my theories on it. But yeah. And with us, we don't even build houses. And now we saw an ad by the PM going, oh, you want to get back on the tools and all this kind of stuff. Mate, you should have got back on the tools you should have been pulling people in the first term of government to try and build houses. I've got a friend of mine who's right up on it. He's got his own building company, and some of the stuff that he comes, you look up Shallow Chow. I'm going to give him a shout out. Big shout out. He's a wonderful individual, and he gives some really good facts because he's in the system, and he'll tell you what's going on. He said about 57 people, 57 companies or something like that went bust in a couple of months, building companies, because they can't afford the taxes and all the red tape. It's a sad situation, and we talk about that. All right, we're gonna turn from negative to positive. Hey, how do we get out?
Actually, let me just mention one more thing too.
Go for it. Yeah, sure.
Just to kind of sum it up, it's the same thing in Canada. Like with mass migration, no conservative that I can ever think of ever said absolutely stop immigration. It was, we just need to manage this properly, understand who we're bringing in, what the resources are going to be required to help them, and make sure that it doesn't completely destroy one thing to save another, right? And that's not what happens with mass immigration. And the Trudeau government had a massive amount of red tape on housing, on building houses and stuff like that.
Same as what we got.
Yeah. Then the Carney government, I mean, they're just new, but they say that they're going to invest in more government housing, but it's because Brookfield, which is Mark Carney's company, builds modular housing out of sea cans.
God.
So I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a sea can.
God.
I don't want to retire in a sea can. I don't care how you jazz it up on the inside. Like, are you kidding me? So yeah, it's
I
follow the money. All you got to do is follow the money.
Look, and you could go into everything, but I'm just sitting here shaking my head going, comparisons compared to Canada v Australia, and just have to, and we're not going into all the facts, and everyone go, oh, where's all the facts? Well, go and look them up. How's that sound for you, ladies and gentlemen? I'm just making an assumption of what I'm feeling, and I look at it and I'm going, okay, superannuation versus houses. Okay. Oh, suddenly the Australian government's talking about building houses. Now the Canadian government's building houses. Timu Trump in Canada, Timu Trump in Australia. I'm sorry, that's no coincidence. Call me a conspiracy theorist, ladies and gentlemen. That's okay. No. I'm just getting you to critically think, go and do your research. That's all we say. One big shout out to Rid's opinion too. Always do your research. Look at the positive now. Let's look at the positive. We look at, all the things that are happening. How do you turn all the negatives, even though they say AI and everything, how do you turn it into a positivity for yourself and humanity?
So Make America Great Again hats are being banned. So you can be banned for wearing a hat into a restaurant and inciting violence. We've got people running around with machetes, and people are worried about someone wearing a Make America Great hat again. That's what happened with Captain Baxter. A guy by the name of Andrew was banned from entering the building and eating there. Now, what I say is, because everyone knows I'm the #1 Village People fan in Australia, will YMCA be next? This is the Robin Hood Effect, episode 8, and we're talking about, will the YMCA be banned for ridiculous reasons? This song brought happiness. Now, again, am I going to get hit? I'm going to tell you straight up, Village People, am I going to get hit with the YMCA? Oh, you can't sing YMCA because it's Trump's theme. I breathe heavily here. But is it going to affect it because of the way the world is? I don't think it should.
And should I have the freedom of speech to sing and do the YMCA without having any repercussions? Oh, we're not going to like him because he likes Trump, and he's a Trump supporter. If let's play devil's advocate. Say I was in the Village People tribute, okay, the Australian tribute, and I did YMCA, and I didn't like Trump. What would happen? I can guarantee you that I would get hit again. I would say, nah, I would get labeled as a Trump lover. You're this, you're that. People are so petty.
Well, I just, when it comes to doing like certain things online and putting yourself out there and putting out your opinion, no matter what it is to me, the first thing you have to remember about that kind of step is you absolutely cannot ever care what somebody says about you, message you about, comments on your stuff, whether it's good or bad. You're not there to be uh, loved, essentially, and get your emotional security from waking up and having 10 nice comments, right? You have a duty, you have a mission, you have a vision of helping to educate people, helping to see another side, helping to open eyes, helping to pay attention, helping to direct somebody to resources if they don't know where they are, kind of thing. And when I do, when I've done my content about mental health issues in the past, and I've been doing this since like long before TikTok, before I was ever on TikTok, I have now been involved in 6 interventions from people who have found me on social media and actually reached out to me and said, I want to hurt myself and there's nobody I can talk to. And I get them on the phone. I'm on the phone for 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. I do my best to find out wherever these people are and get them help. You know, I had there was this one guy, he was in Michigan. So I had to call the police here who go through their international dispatch to find out, where he is in Michigan to send somebody to help him. And I've never met that person. I don't even know honestly what happened with it. So all I know is if I have, and I mean it I really, really mean it, Jay, and that is if I have helped one person, then I have done my vision. I am not out to save 10 million, essentially. If I can help a few, help a bunch, help a few thousands, whatever, and keep growing, then that's why you do what you do.
I'd like to take this time to shout out our supporters at Liberty Bullion, the best gold, silver and platinum traders in Melbourne, even Australia. If you want to give them a call, their knowledge, their customer service is second to none. Back to the show.
I think that's a perfect way to do it. I think that's exactly where we're all at. And I think you're going to get hit for what you're doing and your vision and your thoughts at the time. But every time things grow and you hold an opinion, but with a wide stance where you just go, okay, that's my opinion now, but I'm open to listen to everything and do my research and I might change my opinion. I know I've done that many a time, and I think connecting what we're doing now is fantastic. And that's my vision with the Robin Hood effect and the chats and the journey of a Whitefeather is to teach through my lessons of life and give people a voice and give them the 5 pillars. And that's pretty much it. And whatever people can say, and it's not about, as JT Fox says, friend of mine, coach of mine. I mean, he's a multi-billionaire or multi-millionaire, right? And that's fine. But at the essence of what he does, he still makes money as he enjoys it, right? The essence of what he does is value for your buck, and also humanity and caring and understanding. You got to take responsibility for what you do. So he has he might be this big noted person, but he earned from $34,000 in debt to where he is now. He did the hard work.
Yeah.
It's actually taking accountability for yourself, and it's not an easy ride. And that's what we're doing. I think connecting on this level is fantastic. And we know there's going to be a lot of issues when people bring certain things up. I already know that. I've been shadow banned on many media outlets already. So, yeah. So,
well, when it comes to that too, about, the kind of content you're putting out or whatever, we're talking about mass immigration here. Well, there's a lot of people that content of mine, when I talk about that, they're like, you couldn't be more racist, or tell me you're racist without telling me you're a racist. And it's like, okay, but I personally, in my heart, I know I'm not a racist for wanting, a proper legal immigration system for Canada. I don't care what color you are. I am not against your religion, you know, because or of whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think we come to a lot of that people. I just say, if you're an idiot, you're an idiot. And that's
yeah,
it. I don't care what you are. If you're a good person, if you're a clown, I don't care what you look like. Or you disrespect me, or you disrespect anything, or I don't like you for some reason. It's not the color, it's the actions and the character of the person. If some people don't like me, or whatever it may be, is it my actions and words? That's fine. It's not a personal attack on you as a human. But that's where we've got to, and that's where, look, I just think I think it's a major agenda, and that's what they've accomplished it. They've accomplished it.
absolutely.
There's that of being petty. And then there's the I'm better than everyone syndrome. You should not be doing this. You should be not doing that. And my opinion's right and yours isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. That's fine. There's not just
I'm
one
right,
opinion,
you're
right?
wrong. I'm not even listening anymore. I'm shutting off.
Oh, not even all shut or still throw things. But it's look, on that note, it's been a wonderful chat. We're gonna do this again.
Absolutely.
We've got panels coming up and stuff too with my people that are like-minded thinkers, that we're going to have panels. So it might be a chance to get you on as a special guest and talk about what's happening over there and compare it like we just did. And that's all that's the info. We're just saying, right. And I've made so many not assumptions. I've made so many connections from what you've said to what I'm saying. You're probably saying, "Oh my God," as well. I'm sure you'll look back.
Oh, I am. Yeah, I am for sure.
Yeah, and there's stuff there that everyone can look up. That's the whole point. Critically think about it. If you've got any questions, shoot Ange a message on TikTok. Okay, she'll be coming out with her YouTube channel, I'm sure, very, very soon. You can jump on me, Words of the Warrior, or you can jump on a chat with Jay. This video, I'm going to get this up live on Buzzsprout, which will go to Spotify and 13, 14 different other platforms very, very soon. So, yep. So we'll get that up. It's a really good, really good conversation. Really enjoyed. This is why it's really good. This is supposed to happen. We connect on a spiritual level, universal level, as well. Usually on the universal level. But you got any final words? We've got about 1 minute.
I think the only thing I want to say is that as a human being, you are in no way required to set yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm.
That's fantastic.
Just because I'm in Canada and I was born here and I have all the wonderful things that I do have here that somebody doesn't have in another country, that doesn't mean I have to run around for the rest of my life feeling guilty about it. You're allowed to exist too.
I like that. We always try to help humanity as best we can. But remember, we are part of humanity. That's what I always remember. Everyone goes, you got to do more for humanity. Yeah, that's fine. But I like to do more. But I'm part of that humanity. So if I can better myself as well at the same time, all good and fun. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Jay, Chat with Jay, episode 65, if I'm correct. 65. It's going to be a fantastic one with Angela from Canada. We're definitely going to have her on again. You can find her on TikTok, and you'll love this because every time I finish off, I always quote Bret Hart, my hero, 50th birthday. Met him, hands up, how you going, sir? At the Hitman Bar in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Be the best there is, best there was, best ever. Well, she'll know about it. Canada's a good place, don't you? I love it. Love the Bears. We'll talk about Bears later. But this has been a chat with Jay. Thanks so much for joining us, Ange. Thanks very much for joining me, and we look forward to speak to you very, very soon. Take care.
Have you got a story to share? The experiences that you went through those dark times need to be told, need to be heard. The teachings, the lessons. I know when I had a stroke scare that it changed my life. My name's Jay from Journey of a Whitefeather, and I run a show on Spotify and all good platforms called A Chat with Jay. I talk to normal everyday people who have had experiences that need to share their teachings with the world. I speak to celebrities who are there, who can give you advice how to become a better person. Bruce Buffer, the Kings of Disco, Lucky Lawless from Wasp. So many people, but I love talking to the normal everyday person that gets up every morning to be their best self. If you want to be a guest, whitewarriorhealth@gmail.com. Check out our socials, #JStephenson, #Journey of a Whitefeather. Take care and always be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.